Hey there folks, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you're all doing well. Today for this episode we are taking a look at a product from FireBox, and this is the Generation 2 Nano stainless steel folding stove. Go ahead and get comfortable. Let's take a look at it now. Now I do need to mention that this stove was sent to me by a company called Massdrop. This is a huge community of people who get together, they vote on items that they would like to see sold on this site, and they do a drop. Basically, they vote on it, they decide on it, they contact the vendor, and they sell them at the cheapest price possible. So there's tons and tons of gear, really focused on the ultralight scene, and there's also electronics and other stuff like that. So make sure to check them out. So here's the stove itself. Very thin, very small indeed. It does come with this cotton bag right here. You can purchase additional bags from their website. And check that out. Here is the stainless steel Nano. Now, it should be mentioned that there is a titanium version of this available. It's lighter weight, it's more expensive, and we'll touch upon that later on. Design-wise, they're exactly the same. So, to set this baby up, you just simply unfold it like that. On the inside here, you have a burning plate, which, depending on what type of fuel you're using and how you're using it, you can leave it up or you can push it down just like that. As you can see, it has legs here, feet, also feet at the top. And how you use this will depend on what you're using to basically cook your food in. If you're using a small pot, you'll use it like so with the legs pointed in. If you're using a large pot, you'll face those legs out, just like that. As you can see here, you have one large hole on one side, you have another large hole on the other side. And of course that's for air, but it's also for feeding this, because this is a multi-fuel stove. You can use a Trangia alcohol stove, you can use wood, you can use solid fuel, you can use certain canister stoves. You'll want to make sure to get the measurements first before you actually go purchasing one of those. Now this is the front of the stove, and hopefully you can see that. It says FireBox, made in the United States. And you can see right here, you have a pin, and you have another one. One is a little bit longer than the other, and that's so it can all fold up nice and neat. These pins are also known as nano sticks, and you can use those in a number of different ways. You can slide them through, just like that, and they lock into place so they don't come out. One on each side, just like that. Or you could do it the other way so they match, but it doesn't really matter. For some people it will. I get it. So, just like that, you can slide those in. And this allows you to do some really cool things. Let's move this over to a flat surface and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're looking at the stove again. We'll go ahead and move the feet out of the way so you can see everything nice and easily. You have those nano sticks. And right here we have a Trangia alcohol stove. With those pins in place, you could drop the stove down just like that. And this way, your burner is closer to your pot, which allows you to easily adjust your flame so that you can have it on simmer, less heat because it's closer. Or if you need to boil your water, you're looking for the maximum heat and efficiency, you take out those pins and you drop the stove down, just like so. And that gives you the perfect distance from the stove to the pot, maximum efficiency, best burn, best heat. Very nice indeed. Now you guys already know that I'm a huge fan of Trangia alcohol stoves. They are fantastic. But if I can, I always like to burn with wood. I just love the smell if nothing else, right? Also, the fuel is everywhere. So, with this being a multi-purpose stove, multi-fuel stove, let's use wood. And let's go ahead and do that now. So we're going to take our small little wood pieces here, we're going to drop those in, okay, just like that. Now we're going to take our slightly bigger pieces of wood, drop that in on top. And I'm just building a nest here. Okay, so here we have the stove. It's all ready to go. I did move it a little bit out of the wind here, so we're a little bit safer, a little bit more protected. On the bottom of the stove here, you can see that you have these holes, and I could take my lighter, introduce the flame to the bottom, it'll burn its way up, and we'll be in pretty good shape there. So we'll go ahead and start up now. As you can see there, it's burning away. Now what we want to do here is get a nice base of really hot coals and embers before we put on our water. So as you can see there, it burns very, very well. And I have to say that it's quite a bit of fun tossing your wood in there. We're in pretty good shape here to start. So I'm going to turn those legs in just a little bit. They're nice and cool down at the bottom. Now I'm going to put on my cup here. Get that water boiling for us. Now, as our water heats up, I'll just continue to feed the beast by shoving little pieces of wood in there. Now you can see that I'm putting the pieces of wood in here from the top, but you can actually feed it from the bottom as well. On this side and on the other side. There's two different ways that you can go in. And you can actually use very long pieces of wood to do this, and that way you just keep continuously feeding them in. Of course, it really is up to you and however you want to do it. While we're sitting here waiting for our water to boil, let's go over the stats and stuff real quick. The stainless steel version, which you see right here, weighs 6 ounces. The titanium version weighs 4 ounces. This stove stands 12 centimeters tall. And you have to constantly feed it if you're going to use wood. When it's all folded, it is only 1/4 of an inch thick, which is very impressive indeed. Nice and quick, guys. Nice and quick. Alright, so we finish up with the stove here. We no longer need all these embers, so we can just go ahead and leave them, or we can dump them out. And we'll just let that sit there and cool on its own. Now, as I mentioned, it is nice and windy today, but the ground, everything's really, really wet, really damp. So there's no issues, no alarm, nothing to pay attention to as far as forest fires and stuff like that goes. Our water has boiled, and that means it's coffee time, and we'll finish up this video enjoying a nice cup of joe. Some Taster's Nasty for the win. Did you guys expect anything else? Now, as you guys saw there, this stove works very, very well, especially in the way that I just used it with using just wood. I'm very, very impressed indeed. Super duper lightweight. Even the stainless steel version, which we have been using, 6 ounces. That's nothing at all. Very, very small, very light. You could throw that in your pack, you could throw it in your pocket, you could put it anywhere, you're not going to notice it. It's not going to take up any space either. The titanium version is 4 ounces, so it's even lighter. It's also more expensive. The stainless steel version, the version that we've been using, runs $40. The titanium version runs $70. Whew. Nice and hot and pretty good. It's not too bad. It's kind of nasty, you know how it goes. But anyway, going back to the stove, certainly I'm very impressed. I really like its functionality. I like how it folds up. Very nice indeed. Very well thought out. I really like the fact that you can use this stove with a variety of different fuel types. You can use wood, you can use alcohol, you can use solid fuel, you can use canister. Now, of course, like I said before, depending on the stove that you plan on putting inside of this thing, if you plan on putting one in there, make sure that it will fit first. The titanium version is identical to the stainless steel version. And this is the titanium version right here. And as you can see, it's exactly the same. Of course, it's just lighter weight. So yes, there are two different versions of the Nano stove. And like I said before, this is the Generation 2 model, the latest model. And you have to decide, are you willing to spend the extra money for titanium so you get the perks and the pluses of the titanium, or is the stainless steel version good enough for you? Only you can decide that. Oh man, warm coffee, that is nice. Temperatures are starting to drop, so yeah, that's doing a good job of keeping me nice and warm. Here's the stove after we used it. It's been sitting there for about, I don't know, 4 minutes, and it's already very, very cool. I can fold this up, put it away, and that's what I'm gonna do. One thing that I like about this is that since it's such a thin stove, it cools very, very quickly. Very nice indeed. So if you're ready to put your stove up, fold it all up, of course you push up the bottom plate. It folds just like that. Here on the lettering, it says FireBox. That is the front of the stove, and that is where those nano pins go. And before you fold it up, you just push them here into the right-hand corner. Just like that. Then you can just fold it all together. And there you go. There's your stove. Those nano pins right here are locked into place. They're not going to fall out when it's folded like this. Perfect. I am very, very impressed with this stove. So my friends, for our look at the FireBox Generation 2 Nano Folding Stove, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free, drop me a line, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you guys around. Strength and honor, be well.